So Cyberstorm Access just gave us the Manadome archetype, which obviously had to be renamed as Manadium, but I'd rather die than call it that way. It hasn't been doing too well in the OCG, but it could be doing much better in the TCG because we're always innovative with combo decks, and we also don't have Max C. With that being said, will Manadome be the next top tier deck? First of all, let's at least check what it does. At the moment, there are only 3 main deck monsters for the archetype, and they belong to the same family as Konami's second favorite card of all time. That's right, Manadome is a part of the Visa Starfrost lore, just like Tearlaman, Scareclaw, and Kashtira. And all of the decks I just mentioned have been really good competitively speaking, so we already know that, it's off to a great start. And of course, the synergy with Visa Starfrost means that Foolish Goods into Trivi Karma is absolutely broken. Anyways, what is the concept of the deck? Basically, it's a deck where you can destroy your own monsters in order to float and summon more monsters from the deck, and also use the field spell to revive back your monsters, and you can actually do a lot of synchro summoning plays, or link plays, or Xyz plays. And yeah, like literally, this deck benefits off of self-destruction, so killing yourself is good for you. Words taken out of context. But yeah, you obviously have a Stratos for the deck, which searches on normal or special summon, and it has the exact same stats as all the other hard monsters, so Rise Heart, Reino Heart, and Reich Heart. Now, the deck has a lot of spells and traps, but I think only 2 spells are really good, the rest are kinda meh. The field spell is obviously broken because it searches on activation, revives back a monster, and it also boosts the attack of your monsters. And Obsession is also pretty decent because it either searches your field spell or a Manadome spell or trap card, and you can also banish it from the grave to summon a Visa Starfrost from hand. And this card, just like a lot of other cards in the archetype, benefit off of destroying your own monsters, so if you can destroy cards like, I don't know, Baby Dinosaurs or Unchained or whatever, you're going to be getting some nice advantage. And the only trap card that I think is decent is the counter trap, which is Reframing, which is kind of like an Omni Negate, but you need to control like a Synchro monster or something, and it has like a nice graveyard effect that is kind of like a Daigusto Emerald. And then there's also a fusion monster that you can summon very easily just by banishing a Visa Starfrost from the grave, as well as a monster with the heart stats, and that monster is Vicious Astrud. On the summon, this card can destroy any monster on the field, including your own field or your opponent's field, so regardless of what you want to do, I think this card is always really nice. I think you've noticed it by now, but with only 3 main deck monsters, it's really not enough to play it as a pure deck. And naturally, this is where the Scareclaw engine comes in handy. So the Manadome field spell, which by the way you can easily search with the Obsession, can search Visa Starfrost, and then you can link it into the Link 1 Scareclaw monster to search the Scareclaw field spell. And then the Scareclaw field spell searches the right card, which searches the monster reborn and also potentially draws you a card. So in other words, a lot of searchability and also potentially drawability. But that also means that you suffer from the collateral damage of Super Heavy Samurai existing and people playing Joel and Logbird against it. Cool thing is, when it comes to pretty much any other hand shop, people are going to be really confused against you because they don't know anything about the deck. And also, Nibiru is not that big against it because you can easily summon Baron in this deck. You have so many tuners. You have Visa Starfrost, which is a level 6 tuner, or the Fearless as well as the Meek, which are level 2 or 4 tuners. So you either synchro summon Baron using 2 monsters, or you go into Axel Synchro and then revive back your level 2 tuner and then sync into Baron that way. And by the way, the deck is not supposed to be an aggressive combo deck, but rather a mid-range deck like Sword Soul. You play a deck made up of 2 engines, so Scareclaw as well as Manadome, and then you fill the rest with either extenders, hand traps, or board breakers. Or you can screw the latter and then choose to play like a 3rd engine instead, such as Sprite. Because you play a bunch of level 2 monsters in this deck and you can easily special summon them, kind of just like how Sprite monsters can easily summon themselves if you control a level 2 monster. But the thing with Sprite is that if you want to play them, then you might have to play less hand traps unless you're willing to play like less Scareclaw and less Manadome cards. But if you don't want to play the Sprite cards, you can always play the Kashtira cards. The Kashtira field spell can search the Fenrir, and then you can get the Scareclaw Kashtira and then link it into the Link 1 and then play from there. Yeah, I know, that's a really cool play. With all of that being said, I still don't believe that this deck is any better than Super Heavy Samurai. It needs more cards to play because you don't really have any super aggressive 1-card combos. And you can also fit way less utility cards, so less hand traps, less board breakers, etc. And you're usually also making less negates unless you're willing to play bricks. But if you're good with the deck, you're definitely going to be able to catch people off guard because you know their deck, but they don't know your deck. So if you already had prior experience with the Scareclaw engine, I really recommend playing this deck. Otherwise, just be on the lookout for this deck and what it might do in the future because we never know what kind of support could actually make this deck like tier 1. This deck has a fantastic foundation, it just needs more names. Once the deck has more cards, it'll be more cohesive, more consistent, more powerful, more resilient, anything. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts about Manadome in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.